All right, so I think I got something wrong with my last video, but essentially I'm right. And here's the big thing. In and this is why I think I'm right. I think that OPR is on the money for this. It says in the 3.4 rules, note that units must charge and align with the target in in the facing where the majority of their front row models are when the charge is first declared. That would A lot of people are telling me, no, you can't do what you're talking about. You can't charge and go into the flank. And that's kind of true because if you look at the 3.4.1, whatever it is, it says note that if possible, and then they continue, units must always charge and align with the target facing where the majority of the rolls. So if possible there says to me that excuse me, if you have a setup here, okay, so you are facing off and you have these guys here, okay, and these guys are over here. It's not possible for them to directly go through their soldiers. They have to go around, and then in which case they're going to hit the flank. Okay? So, if possible, says to me that I was kind of right. Okay? The only thing is that, let's say you're over here, you've got one, they just fought, and so this unit here would normally not be able to make the move. In the old rules, even in the 3.4 rules, you could not make this move. But now in the 3.4.1, you can go 5.6 here and turn and hit them in the flank, with the rest of your 12-inch move. It is now possible. It does open up a lot more um, maneuverability. You are able to do, and it stands if you have a stacking motion here where somebody comes in on the flank, you could still hit them on the flank even though you might be slightly out of position. It does open up quite a bit. If somebody comes in here and flanks you, then you're able to flank again. And what I think their interpretation is, when possible, this allows, because a friend of mine said, well, you should be able to, if you're coming in on the flank like that from the front, they should see you and they should be able to turn to the side. However, if you have this unit right here and they are engaging, they've got them pinned basically, now the flanking maneuver can come in. And I agree with that. I think that is that is the spirit of the rule. That's the intention of the rule. Um, if it's not, I think regiments is in trouble because regiments needs to have more flexibility. In addition to the tactics, I've been using my owls. I'm really enjoying the owls for the wood elves. And I was thinking about how easy it is now if you've got your owls behind soldiers. Now, before, let's say these guys are out of here, or let's say they're all lined up. They got a nice line here, and you can't get around, and there's more forces over here. These guys can now fly over and then do their 90-inch. Before 3.4, they couldn't do that. And that is huge because now, next turn, they can rear charge these guys. They can rear charge these guys over here. So they can go down. They can go here. Now they've got options. So basically, turn one, they get in position. Turn two, they go here. Turn three, they get to attack and be involved in the battle for half the battle because there's 4 turns. Before, if you didn't do that, then these guys here, they get in position turn two. They go here turn three. I'm sorry, that was turn one, turn two. Now they rotate to get in position turn three. And now on turn four, they can get into the battle. That's too long. That's they're not involved. You basically took them out for the whole battle, and I think that was a bad rule that they now have fixed that I really, really like. So, yes, it does open up tactics where you can do these things, like get your flyers over the battlefield and give them an extra turn of fighting. In addition to that, if you have, a wedge formation, oops, let me get this guy back on. Let's say you got a wedge formation here and you got an open flank, even though these guys are down here, now they can still get to the flank, even though they're clearly in the front arc of this unit. It's not possible to hit them in the front arc, but it is possible. They do have enough movement, 10 inches, and then 2.4, well within their charge range. These guys can't react and rotate because they're being engaged by these guys, even though they're not touching like you would in Warhammer Fantasy Battles. Um, that 1 inch rule, they just don't have room to rotate. They are pretty much locked in on these guys here until that battle is resolved. So I think this is a huge improvement. I stand by what I said. I didn't clarify that rule. In fact, to be perfectly honest, if they took out this rule right here, and this is the 3.4 rule, where they just say note that you have to be, and then now they change it if possible. So, whether that's terrain that's blocking you or another unit that's blocking you, I don't think it matters. I hope they confirm what I'm talking about here, clarify somehow. But regiments really opens up and makes a lot more sense to me with the interpretation. So I really hope that I'm right about that. Again, tactics, you've got the echelon formation where you've got, here's the echelon that you have set up. These guys can attack here, but then you've got these guys that can come in and do a flank attack. If they flank over here, then you've got a flank and then at least an eventual rear charge. So echelon does work if you do it, and you don't even have to set it up in an echelon. You can be in, at the end of turn one, everybody's on the same level, let's say, and then echelon, these guys attack, and then these guys can come in and flank, and then these guys can come in and flank, and then these guys can come in and rear charge. So, yeah, those tactics are not only valid in the formation that you set up, but also in the formation, how it functions because of the alternating activations. Again, stacking units here, or if you stack a unit here now, you can still use these tactics where these guys come in. Excuse me, he moves down here and flanks this guy right here. And this guy can either do a rear charge, this guy could do a flank charge, and then guarantee a rear charge here. So yeah, the tactics are there. It's no longer everybody's just got to go face up until somebody gets blown up. You got to blow this guy up in order to get, I'm sorry, you got to blow this guy up in order to now get a flank charge on the next turn for here, or move up here and then next turn do a flank attack. It just, the 4 turns just is not long enough to set up these attacks, which is why I think the Age of Fantasy non-regiments is the preferred choice by a lot of people. And I don't like that. I really do want Age of Fantasy regiments to succeed. So in the comments, if you think I'm wrong, please show me the rule that I got wrong, like in the last video, so I can make a correction and react so that we can get this right, because regiments is really on my heart. I hope this game starts to take off because I think it's a much more elegant game than the other games. There's something special about rank and flank, and you leave out a lot of fans if they can't get that rank and flank. You can absolutely destroy Games Workshop right now, the old world, if they can get uh, this rule right. Like I said, personally, I would take out that line completely and just allow you to go whatever flank you want. Maybe a good rule would be, let's say you've got the knights here and clearly they're in the front. They could do front, but you have the movement to go up here, turn, and then hit them in the flank. And a compromise would be, well, these guys, if possible, they can do a reaction. If they have the room to maneuver, they can now meet this flank attack, which now allows, again, more tactics where now these guys can come and flank attack them on the next activation. So, and you open up these guys maybe if you have reserves. But now you need reserves, and with all of these flanking maneuvers that are now that I believe are possible, if you don't have anybody back here to be your reserves to fill in a gap or to counter these flanking maneuvers, I think you're gonna lose a lot of games. It's no longer matching up. It's no longer who rolls the best. You do have to use tactics in order to win at regiments. You don't just slam into the middle of the objective area and whoever has the most guys or the best guys wins. The flank attack makes a difference. All right, tell me what you think. Go ahead and let me have it. If I'm totally off, it's okay. I got a thick skin. Do your worst. Thanks for watching.